Folks, before you even start today's video, pause it and go over to shopwcbs.com and get yourself a world-class Bullshitters t-shirt. We just launched, we have some awesome designs, and we're going to be adding more monthly. We're going to treat the store as a reflection of the channel. We have a great joke on a show, we're going to put it on a shirt. We're also going to make it very interactive. If you buy our beer glass and drink with us, you'll get a shout out. It'll be like drinking with us virtually. So folks, go over to shopwcbs.com, support independent entertainment because the real world entertainment sucks. And now it's time for the video.
The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
Well, we have another Marvel first. No sequel. Usually studios love to announce the sequel to a film before it's even out. But Marvel is doing the opposite for their dumpster fire in the making, The Eternals. The Eternals is not getting a sequel, probably based on comments from Nate Moore, the producer of the film. Eternals producer Nate Moore casts some doubt on whether Marvel Studios will make a sequel for the company's latest film, The Eternals. Moore spoke with the Toronto Sun on the last day of production for The Eternals about the film. Specifically regarding the sequel, he stated, "It's not something that is a must-have." Moore went on to state, obviously we have ideas of where we could go, but there isn't a hard and fast rule where we have to have 3 of these things, and this is the first. Not only does he cast any doubt on the fact that there may not be any sequels, but the Toronto Sun also claims the film does not offer any hints as to the future of the MCU. They state, but outside a possible post-credit scene, Moore says, Eternals won't offer any hints to the future. However, that's not exactly what Moore says. Instead, he notes, we felt like there was enough story that it could be a contained universe. We definitely have ideas of how things can cross over later, but this movie with 10 characters and Dane Whitman and the Celestials and the Deviants, well, there was enough for us to play with, he added. While Moore's comments definitely cast some doubt on whether Marvel plans to do a sequel for Eternals, he did indicate they might spin off Kit Harington's Black Knight into his own film series. However, he noted the Eternals doesn't even show Harington's Dane Whitman as the Black Knight. Moore explained, he's not going to be the Black Knight necessarily, but that's something that we get to play with down the road. Talk about a vote of confidence. We're all familiar with the film producers who are out there hyping up films, talking about how great they are before they're even out. Avi Arad did that with the Spider-Man films. When he got around to the Amazing Spider-Man films, he did the same thing. People knew there was a dozen sequels coming, but they aren't happening. They knew they had shit on their hands, but they still treated it like gold till the bitter end. Marvel Studios, on the other hand, said screw it and threw it in the trash. I've had a lot to say about the Eternals, but right now I'm speechless. Okay, I'm over it. Wow, no sequel. Color me shocked and upset. Captain Marvel is getting a sequel. Well, a rebranded sequel, which is also a bad sign, but they've given up all hope with the Eternals. Well, I guess that's good, but if this movie makes a bunch of money, will it deter them from making us suffer from another sequel? The US projections are strong-ish. Fandango is reporting that the Chloe Zhao-directed feature is now the second best pre-seller among this year's blockbusters per advanced ticket sales. In overall exhibitor pre-sales, which include Fandango, Deadline hears that Eternals has already banked $13 million, which is 13% behind Black Widow at the same point in time and 25% ahead of Shang-Chi. The slowdown from the Pic's 80 million plus original projection stems from it being the worst reviewed MCU movie to date at 54% rotten. Well, that's gone down 3% since we've made our video and 2% since we've uploaded it. The Pic at 2 hours 37 minutes has a complicated storyline, though the Marvel brand alone is known to be Teflon. This is a deep dive piece of MCU which is playing into the most recent phase of the multiverse that is bound to stoke the Reddit crowd, which could possibly send grosses higher, though that remains to be seen. I do find it interesting that they admit there was an impact on the film by the historically low score over on Rotten Tomatoes. There's so much uncertainty when talking about Eternals. There's a dilemma here. Promote the terrible film, but retain a smidge of honesty. It looks difficult. It reads as, hey, this is a stinker, but go see it anyway because of reasons. All advertising is fake, but I can see how little faith Marvel, the press, and the fans have in this film. We have to ask ourselves, what is more important, a good film or a successful one? Marvel loves to tout the MCU as quality films that feature superheroes. If their rotten leftovers make money, does that make it a good film? Are Michael Bay's Transformers good? Quality is subjective, but I'm answering no for everyone. They're shit films, but they made billions. Are Marvel's best films their most successful? Their 4 most successful are the Avengers films. For the most part, the rest of their top 10 are films that come out right before or right after an Avengers film. Lead-ups and payoffs make Marvel their most money. The Eternals is neither. There's something different about the Eternals. The closer we get to release, the more we keep hearing that it's being pulled from certain countries, and that means less people will see it. What's the reason? Marvel Studios' upcoming Eternals film will not release in multiple countries across the world, reportedly due to its inclusion of a gay couple. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Eternals will no longer release in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Qatar on November 11th. That outlet claims Disney was given a list of edits by censors in those countries that the studio refused to make. The edits in question reportedly revolved around the movie's on-screen romance between Brian Tyree Henry's Phastos and Haz Sleeman's Ben. Such relationships are still illegal in many Gulf countries, and projects have been pulled in the past for featuring LGBTQ plots, characters, and themes. While Eternals has not entered wide release, the cast and crew of the movie have talked on numerous occasions about introducing a prominent gay couple into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Zhao, for her part, said in October that she and Marvel Studios were working to ensure international cuts of the film would not censor Phastos' relationship with Ben. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige has promised that, although Eternals introduces the MCU's first gay superhero, it certainly won't be the last project to do so. There have been gay superheroes in the comics. It's more than past time in the movies, Feige said last month. It's just the start. Ironically, the film with the most diverse cast will have the smallest global audience. What was Marvel's intent with Eternals? Is it to prove that forcing certain ideologies on an audience will hurt your film globally? The Eternals will show that Marvel needs a global box office to make big money. Joker is the only comic book film to cross $1 billion without a Chinese release, and that film had an attack campaign that involved police and military issued warnings not to go see the film. People rabidly wanted to see Joker. Will they rabidly want to see Eternals? Tell me in the comments. Joker versus the Eternals. Marvel is definitely getting another one of their much-beloved firsts, but it may be a bitter pill to swallow. Critics aren't eating up the agenda behind the film, and fans never were. We want entertainment, not a PSA. Keep it to 80s cartoons, where they actually did some good. I learned how to keep my house safe while I made my favorite dish.
Pork chop sandwiches!
So what do you think about the news that The Eternals isn't going to get a sequel? I guess some would say, well, they've told their contained story and that's the right artistic move to make. This is Marvel. They make sequels out of anything. There's a talking raccoon and he's got multiple films underneath his belt. Surprisingly, they're good. People in generic super suits flying around? We've seen that before. Will we see it again? Probably. It's Marvel. Yay. But the hubbub around this film is some of the most interesting since Captain Marvel. You have people running their mouth on Twitter, people making false allegations and claims, and Disney doubling down, looking for virtue points. So, yeah, we'll see. Will this movie make as much as Captain Marvel? I'm going to go with no. Captain Marvel crossed over $150 million in China, and more and more countries are ditching the Eternals. Some would say that's good for Disney to dig in their heels and believe in their morals. It's great that a company wants to have convictions, and there's nothing wrong with featuring gay couples in film. Why do you have to constantly promote it, looking for us to pat you on the back for your virtuous behavior? Why don't you just make the movie and show Phastos and Ben's relationship? And we all go, okay, that dude's gay. And then we go, all right, let's go save the world. All these companies want to do is pat themselves on the back and tout their firsts. Kevin Feige, it's so great that you're going to show gay characters in the movie. It's not like there haven't been gay characters in movies for decades. Oh, they haven't been in a Marvel movie. Well, that's okay. Marvel movies really aren't movies to some people, so who gives a shit? So I want to know what you guys think. I want to know if you give a shit about all of this. Tell me in the comments below. Before you head out, make sure you go to shopwcbs.com, pick up a shirt. We've been getting all kinds of great reviews. People love the designs, and there's all sorts of new ones that are going to be added very, very soon. I mean, it is the holiday season. Christmas is coming right up, so you got to stop at Thanksgiving first, but that doesn't mean you can't stop at Shop WCBS before all of that. Folks, I'll be back next time with more, and that includes a live review of The Eternals. 3 of the 4 bullshitters will be out here. We will go see The Eternals live, and we will review it live. Yay. So folks, if we survive, we'll be back on Sunday. So in the meantime, be smart, be safe, be cool, but always be excellent to each other.